Hello and welcome to another Raggy's beer review. Despite the fact it's been warm today, it's actually quite chilly tonight. But anyway, so the other day I went over to Crich Brew Company over in Belper. Amazing tap room, an amazing bloke as well. I was one of the first in the country to, certainly the first person to review his beers, and probably one of the first persons to actually taste his beers as well. Certainly in the YouTube part of the world. So anyway, this is their Ripple. There we go. And it's a raspberry and vanilla Ripple sour beer. There's the artwork. There we go. Lots of raspberry on there. And there we go. Crich. It's a collab as well between Dungeon Brewing, our good fellow Mark, and it's well known, you know, on his social media channels. He found out he got cancer, and he's you know, being treated for it. So from me, absolutely hand on heart, you know, absolutely pray for you, mate, and you know, to get out of it and get back to brewing beer, because he absolutely loves his brewing. Does some amazing beers as well. But also, it's a freeway collab, and I'm on Reckless Dweeb from Billsthorpe. I literally pass on the A617, past Billsthorpe 2 to 3 times a week. Although I'm in the work span anyway, so I won't be able to go off channel anyway. But yeah, so 3 great breweries. Fantastic to see this collaboration, and all nice guys as well. So yeah, a fruity sour beer brewed with masses of raspberry and vanilla, 4.7% ABV. Let's not go any further. Let's get it drank, because I've had a long day. Left at 6 o'clock this morning. Got home, yeah, after 6, 6:15. And then took my son to kickboxing. I had to wait a little bit and then go and pick him up. So it's literally 9:15 and first even sit down and first beer as well. Tastes biscuity. That does. It's like a pastry sour. Initially, the bit that was on my fingers. Look at that. And you know, just look at that. It's got a lovely, what you would call a raspberry colour to it. Although there are yellow raspberries. I actually grow them at work. A lot of them. So, yeah, beautiful raspberry nose on this. Yeah, and that biscuity pastry element as well, like a pastry sour. Vanilla just popped in then. Oh, you know, I look forward to beers. That's the only reason I do beer reviews, and the only reason I'm still doing beer reviews. And it's funny, locally to me, it seems flat, and it's been flat for a while locally. And I do mean local, Nottingham, local. But further afield, there are some very good, interesting releases that still, you know, inspires me to go and buy the beer for starters, and to actually review it. Oh, what a beauty. It's funny because years ago I didn't like sour beers at all. Nowadays, and even my wife, there was a plum sour the other day, and she actually liked the plum sour. So, you know, she likes a stout. She don't like anything tropical, but she's getting into sours. So that's good news, because there's a lot of sours out there. There's a lot of stouts. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of pale ales, but yeah. got it on the aroma side of things, certainly on the flavour. Quite a nice lasting flavour, sends it all around your lips, the flavour. And it's warming my belly up as well, proper warming my belly up. Nice tartness now, where it starts off more sour, a nice tartness. There's a slight earthy note just burst into the equation. Quite a complex sour, to be fair. You know, not just a run of the mill beer. You know, it's actually got depth to it. Here we go. We'll pour the rest in so we get the true colour, just like you do when you go to the toilet. Actually, give it a good shake. And I've got a sense of humour somewhere, you know. Yeah. No, most of the time people don't understand it, but can't win them all, can you? I've gave up these days. I've gave up trying to, you know, do humour to certain people and on the internet, because you're there and like they look at you and it's like, oh God. And then we have to start explaining that it's a bit of a joke. I mean, it was April Fool's today. So I left a message on our work WhatsApp groups, and it says at one workplace I put down, "Hey, up, there's a bloke here says he's working here today. His name's Olaf Prosil." Left it like that. I've got to go to Kelham, the other side, and then about an hour later, the on-site manager, she says, "Who is he?" and then somebody rumbled it, and then I did the same to the other manager, and no sense of humour. You need a laugh. A laugh is great, you know, in life. We need a laugh to get us through the dark times, and there are always dark times. We can't always be in the light, you know. Whether you watch, and I try to watch TV that is light. I try to avoid dark now. Obviously I don't watch comedians all the time, because that'll do you nothing as well. But like something that's inspiring, like tonight, we come home tonight and the wife watches a myriad of blooming programmes, and she's watching something called 911, and there was an earthquake or something, and I was watching it, sitting there watching it. I think I remember vaguely watching it sometime before. I was sitting there and I thought, you know, this isn't too bad, this isn't, you know, the firemen are there, they're not trying to be, you know, walking into a bar, making out there, you know, and none of that business, and that's good to see. But it was good. There's a bit of humour. Like in all life, there's humour. We need humour. In the darkest of moments, humour is amazing, because when you're feeling down, when life throws curveballs at you, just that, sometimes somebody to come along and say something that just makes you smile and makes you laugh, and yeah, sometimes just takes away darkness. And then there was another moment where another episode, and I'm vaguely watching it, and anyway, they had these people doing graffiti on the top of a building, and this security guard, and they jump into a window. The gap between the buildings about, you know, so much, and you look and you think, don't do that, don't try and jump it. What does he do? Tries to jump it. He's there hanging on for dear life, and then all of a sudden you see his hands go and he drops, and it's like, oh Christ, he's dead. But he wasn't dead. it got wedged between the buildings because, and only because, it's got a fat belly. And hey, fat bellies aren't all bad. And yeah, and they actually carved a bit out of the wall and pulled him in the wall. And you know, it's that bit of humour. I used to love watching the X-Files because, you know, there were dark episodes, but there was always a bit of a laugh watching it as well, and you grew into it. You grew into the personalities on the screen. They became, in a weird thing, family. Weird, I know, but you relate to them. You know, and you can read a lot of the stuff they do. So yeah. Anyway, back to the beer. I've let it breathe enough now. Always on a Raggy's beer review. If you're the first time you're watching this, you know, I do try and do with Raggy's beer reviews, and much to the ire of people out there who just think I'm promoting me all day long, I actually promote breweries across multiple groups. I'll promote breweries across groups that in total reach over 1 million people. Why do I do it? To promote breweries. I've done that in the old time. If it helps the channel, then all good. But most of the time, it's just about promoting breweries. Although some people always see the bad side of that and not the good side. But hey, that's up to them, isn't it? You know. So here we go. Lovely thickness to it. The colour now is looking lovely, isn't it? It's got that pinky raspberry, what you'd associate with a raspberry colour. Bloody hell, my hair needs cutting. I'm getting to that stage now. 53. When I reached 40, I thought I was going to die. So I've done well. And but it's showing now. I think all them years of working outside, stress and anxiety is the worst thing as well. I stress and I get anxious. These last about a month and a half, I've learned not to stress too much. I've learned not to get anxious too much. And frankly, my dear, not to give a damn. Or give less of a damn. You know, where I'd worry about saying something or about reporting something. Like today, the mower was broke at work. There was the guards hanging off. One's hanging off while I left it the other day, and I'm thinking, was that me? Did I hit it and it's hanging off? But I think somebody else has done something, and that's why it's hanging off. I'd have noticed it. And I noticed it straight away when I tried to put it back on. Put the mower thing back on. So I noticed it straight away there. So I would have noticed it on the flip side. But you know, hello. And I'm learning not to worry too much. Anyway, on with the beer. Oh, the air's got to it now, and it delivers a lovely tarty sour beer with a nice dryness on the back end, raspberry at the front, the vanilla's round the back. Oh, sometimes I can actually do an half decent review, only sometimes. Don't tell anyone. I get the odd people commenting on my reviews and some of the stuff, and I'm like, I don't take it too seriously. You know, I get what I get. I don't get what I don't get. I'm not trying to be something I'm not. I don't get paid to do beer reviews. Yeah. And I've spent many thousands of pounds doing beer reviews over the years. And yeah. Whereas for some people, there's not many out there, 2 or 3 that I know of, where it's a business for them and they're making enough money not to work. I'm working and then doing extra gardens and so on just to get the ability to actually do the beer reviews. So yeah, is what it is. And again, that earthiness just bit in them. So with beer reviews, it's interesting because you pick out flavours, you get flavours, and you hope they're the flavours that the breweries also want and get themselves. I'm not trying to say there's flavours that are, you know, make up some flavour, and because you do get that, you know, out there. I see people saying, "Oh, I've got this and that," and you're like, "Really? Where'd you get that flavour from? Not in that beer, you hadn't." And did you clean your glass before you drank it? And what did you eat before you drank it? You know, did you clear your palate? Yeah, all those things. But anyway, 15 minutes. Wow, it's a long review. I've been keeping to about 7 or 8 minutes reviews at the most. And it's a funny thing. With local breweries, I know for the most part the people, certainly from a talking thing, I know a little bit about them by talking to them and following their progress over the years. Not personally know people, but you know, a little bit at least. And obviously very supportive. But if they make great beer, you don't need to be supportive in a false way, because the beer's great. All you're doing is telling people it's a great beer. And this is a great beer. 4.7%, easy drinking, sessionable, sour beer. Personally, Castle Beer Festival is in a few days' time. I don't think it ought to have been called Nottingham Independence. I think it had, you know, there's a way to say Castle Beer Festival and have breweries, you know, they're an invitation to breweries, not every single brewery from willy-nilly, but certainly breweries that are local, in a certain vicinity. And let's hope it goes well this year, and more comes of it. We'll see how that goes in the future. Luckily there's some beers there. Dungeon Brewing, he's got a beer there brewed with grumpy fish, so hopefully there's some interesting beers from breweries. I'm not going to drink anything I've drank before for obvious reasons. There's beers that I want to drink from certain breweries, box tickers, and they're the ones I'm going for, whatever the ABV. Wife's with me, so there's somebody there to help me get home at night. So, would I drink this again? Absolutely, without any shadow of a doubt. 18 minutes yakking. Yeah, a very good sour, a good introduction to sour. Does exactly what it says on the can. Delivers the raspberry, vanilla, a pastry, sour effect with an earthiness that keeps bouncing forward. Complex flavours throughout. A very nice sour beer. Out of 5. 4.6 out of 5 for me. And yeah. And that is my beer review. Right. Go and cook some dinner. I'm starving. Cheers.